Bond. James Bond.
In this tutorial, we're going to display what I call table of James Bond films example, still to demonstrate the HTML table example. Now, I designed this page, which I call table of James Bond films, and this page has a table, a HTML table, which I designed, which contains the list of all the James Bond 007 movies from Dr. No of 1962, which was acted by Sean Connery, down to Skyfall of 2012, which was acted by Daniel Craig. So you can see all the James Bond movies and their actors and the year they were released. Okay, so basically this tutorial is actually not concentrating on James Bond, although I'm a fan of the James Bond franchise, but it's actually to demonstrate how you can work on Colspan and Rowspan on HTML tables. Now, you may not understand Colspan or Rowspan yet, but once I demonstrate to show you what's the meaning, then you will understand. Now, if you observe on this table, you'll see that Sean Connery has acted up to 5 James Bond movies sequentially. Okay, so we have Sean Connery 5 times. Now this is repetitive for a HTML developer to code in. We might as well make write one Sean Connery in one particular column over here, which will span like 5 rows to indicate that Sean Connery has acted the 5 movies the Sean Connery has spanned through in this column. Okay, if you don't really understand what I'm talking about, you'll see what I mean when I display it. Okay, now over here you see Roger Moore, the same thing. Roger Moore has acted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movies. Okay, and so Timothy Dalton has acted 2, Pierce Brosnan acted 4, and Daniel Craig, which is the current James Bond actor, has acted 3. So we can span these columns or rows that are going through these columns where the actors are, since they are repetitive, and we can make only one single name appear in the place of like 5 Sean Connerys. We can just make one to appear. Okay, so also that's what we call row span. Okay, so you see how to make a row span, and then later on this particular video I'll show you an example of how to make a column span. All right, so let's go back to the source code and see what we can find. So on the source code, I have a directory, the tables directory, which I created, and I have a James Bond.html file, which I can right click and edit with Notepad++, and that will open up Notepad++ for me. Then you can see the source code to the page we were looking at. Okay, so these are the names of the movies and the Bond actors. Alright, so you can see everything has been written up as usual. Our normal HTML tag, our head, our title. This is the body tag down here. Then we have the div, which shows the table of James Bond films. That has to do with this. Okay, because our div has a font and a h1 tag surrounding the content. Then we have our table tag, which contains all of these movies. So here's our table tag, and you can see the tr tag over here. Now there's one difference you may be observing. There is a th tag. Okay, so where did that come from? Now, if you've gone through the tutorial or the HTML documentation I showed you, th tag, which is table header, gives us this nice bold and centralized header of this table. Okay, so that's the function of the th tag. It makes the text to be bold and being centralized. Okay, now that's for the th tag. Also note that in this tr tag we had made a background color to be equal to #CCCCCC, which is an ash color. Okay, so if you look at, you can see I have an ash background on the th tag. Okay, all right, so that was just a little explanation of my code. Then let's go down into this source code and see how we can make Sean Connery, which was repeated 5 times, to be written 1 time, and it will span the whole of these rows. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the code. You can see the first movie, which was acted by Sean Connery, called Dr. No. Okay, and the second movie was also acted by Sean Connery. The third movie was acted by Sean Connery, and so on. Now, the repetition of Sean Connery in all these movies is redundant. Since we have 5 Sean Connerys, what we need to do is to create a row span in this column that is holding the first Sean Connery. So I'm gonna call a row span to be equal to 5. So row span is an attribute of the td tag, and the number of rows you want to span through, okay, is the value of the row span attribute. All right, so now that we've spanned Sean Connery to 5 rows, we have to delete the other Sean Connerys. Okay, so this one should go, this one should go, this one should go, and this one should go. Okay, let's check it out on the browser and you see what I mean. So observe, we have 5 Sean Connerys. We'll be having 1 instead, which will span 5 rows. So here we go, we refresh the browser window and you can see what I mean. So that's the row span. Let's see how we can make row span for Roger Moore. Another example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Roger Moores. So you go to the source code and here is Roger Moore. Here is the first one. We'll create a row span to be equal 7. Then we delete the rest of the Roger Moores. Okay, so save it, go back to the web browser, refresh, observe, and you can see Roger Moore has spanned 7 rows. All right, let's do that to Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, and Daniel Craig. Timothy Dalton spans 2 rows, Pierce Brosnan spans 4 rows, and Daniel Craig spans 3 rows. So for Timothy Dalton, we're just gonna delete 1 single row and create a row span for the first row. So it's gonna be 2. For Pierce Brosnan, we have 4 movies, so we have row span to be equals to 4. Then we're gonna delete the rest of the Pierce Brosnans. Then for Daniel Craig, you have row span equals 3, and we delete the rest of the Daniel Craigs. Okay, so here we go. Refresh. This looks better, isn't it? There's no redundancy in the names of the born actors. Okay, so that was a nice feature of Rowspan. All right. Okay, so now if you observe this table, you'll see that we have a column here for box office, which has some numbers here, which is to demonstrate the number of millions of tickets sold for each movie. Now down here, most tables usually have a bottom line row which can describe the total. Okay, so what we're going to do is to add one single row which will show the total box office of all the James Bond movies that has been produced ever. There's no box office for Skyfall yet because the movie is yet to be released. The movie has been acted this year, so that's why I put not available here. So we'll only total the rest, which I've already done. You can see my calculator here. This is the total which I calculated. Maybe I'm wrong. You can try the calculation yourself, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put the total down here. Okay, so let's go back to Notepad++. Then down here I'm gonna create a tr tag and a closing tr tag. Then I'm gonna create 4 td tags, 4 sets of td tags, I mean. So here's the opening td tag, is a opening td tag and a closing td tag. So to save myself some typing because I'm lazy, I'm gonna copy and paste. So I have 4 sets of td tags. Okay, so on the first td tag, I'm gonna make the text to be bold. I'm gonna put my b tags. I'm gonna put a text to show the total box office. Okay, so then the total box office is gonna be, from my calculator, 4,842.8. so 4842.8. okay, I'm gonna save it, go over to the web browser, refresh the page, and scroll down. Why we are having this non-cell showing up here is because we have an incorrect syntax in our HTML. So let's check it out. Okay, so there's supposed to be 5 columns, not 4. So that's the problem. So I'm gonna add an additional td tag. Here we go. Go back to the web browser. Okay, refresh the page, and okay, so we have our total box office on the right place, but you can see this space here which is redundant. If we add some no break space ampersand nbsp, okay, we add single spaces in between those td tags, you will see that they will have the vertical line we expect them to have. So I'm gonna refresh and you can see what I mean, but these cells here are redundant. So what we want to do now is to make a column span. We've finished showing you examples of row spans down here. These are row spans. Okay, now column span is to merge these cells together, okay, so that they form just one single column, which will span in the form of 4 columns. So we have 4 columns here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are going to make this total box office column to span the 4 columns. Okay, when I finish, you understand what I mean. So in case you don't, what we're going to do is that we're going to delete these 3 columns, and then we're gonna make this particular column to be a Colspan to be equals to 4, because it's gonna take the place of 4 columns. And we're gonna go back to the browser and refresh, and you can see what I mean. Total box office spans the 4 columns. All right, that looks good. Let me give a differentiating background color on this last row. Okay, so we know it's a total box office. So first of all, I'll give it a height that's equal to 50. Then I'm gonna give it a BG color to be equal to, let me give it a light green. So light green is gonna be 55 FF 55. I'm gonna save that and go back to the web browser, refresh, and you can see we have a nice total panel down here. Okay, let's make this one bold as well. So surround this with the B tags, closing B tag, back to the browser, refresh, and that looks better. Okay, so that's it with our table of James Bond 007 movies. We've succeeded in creating row spans by making the names of the actors that we're repeating to be single, okay, in one particular column that spans number of rows. So you can see them. These are row spans, and this is a column span. Okay, so I believe you can make row spans and column spans from this tutorial. Like I said, there are other materials you can check in the internet to see how to use on tables. So I'm gonna stop this video here. I hope you found this video tutorial informative, and thanks for viewing.